Evaluate how a basketball player could use circuit training in order to improve their performance. So this is quite an open 9 mark question. So sometimes with 9 mark questions, it's really clear what we should base each paragraph on. But for this one, it is quite open, and you've got quite a lot of choice there of how we discuss circuit training and its importance to basketball players. For our first paragraph, we could say, as for our AO1 point, a basketball player could use a range of stations as part of circuit training, which could work on muscular endurance in the leg muscles. So I'm discussing here a particular component of fitness that circuit training is going to focus on. So for AO2, I'm going to give some examples of these stations. So these stations could include squats, burpees, and step ups. Each of these stations could last between 30 seconds to 1 minute, which would replicate the intensity required during a match. So I'm thinking about exactly how this circuit is going to relate to a basketball match. The AO3, I'm going to link to performance a bit more. So this would improve the basketball player's ability to move up and down the court repeatedly without fatigue throughout the duration of the match. Improved muscular endurance would mean that the basketball player could spend longer on the court without needing a break. For the next paragraph, we've looked at another component of fitness. So a basketball player could also look to improve his cardiovascular fitness through circuit training. This would be achieved by keeping the heart rate in the aerobic training zone, 60 to 80% of maximum heart rate, throughout the session. Only having small periods of rest between stations would help to achieve this. So notice how here I've dropped in some knowledge of the aerobic training zone and given some specific percentages there as well, to show that I know what aerobic training zone is. So we really are showing our an in-depth knowledge to the examiner. For our evaluation, better cardiovascular fitness would help the basketball player to provide his muscles with oxygen throughout a match, meaning he can work at a higher intensity for longer. Greater cardiovascular fitness would also mean that the basketball player will recover quicker following matches or intense training sessions. So I'm showing a bit of in-depth knowledge of how the cardiovascular system works, and also linking closely to recovery as well. For the final paragraph, I'm going to look at something a little bit different. So we've not gone down a route of looking at another component of fitness, but instead we're discussing a skills circuit. So we're showing a real in-depth knowledge of circuit training and how it can be adapted. So furthermore, the basketball player could also adapt the circuit to create a skills circuit. And then I'm going to explain what this is with a couple of examples. So this could include passing and dribbling stations, which are specific to the sport of basketball and look to improve agility and coordination. For example, one station could involve dribbling around cones or markers. For our AO3, for our evaluation, agility is vital in the sport of basketball, as this is required in order to beat a defender and get a shot away. Both skills and fitness are essential to a basketball player's ability, an adapted circuit will cover both areas and will improve performance. So I'm showing that I understand circuit training can focus on fitness, but it can also focus on skills. And for a team sport such as basketball, mixing the two might be the best option. This was a very open question, and you may have gone down a different route, particularly in terms of the components of fitness that you may have discussed. So, if on one of your paragraphs you focused on power as a component of fitness and discussed how circuit training can be adapted to create stations which focus on power for a basketball player, then that would be absolutely fine. You may have included muscular strength as well, potentially. But the main thing is that you've got your AO1, your AO2, and your AO3, and that we're focused on answering that question.